This week on GamePron News, Minecraft finally sets a date. Sony seems a little confused over the launch of the next generation portable. The Australian Classification Review Board explains their decision to effectively ban Mortal Kombat Down Under. Mass Effect 2 is released for free while the franchise expands into movies and more books. The FBI raid the wrong house looking for World of Warcraft gold sellers, and a Night Elf Druid makes it all the way to level 85 with 0 kills and 0 quests. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. Minecraft has finally set a date to move out of beta, and the game's going to be up against some stiff competition from day one. Mark your calendars, November 11th is the big day. That's 11/11/11 and should be familiar to games fans around the world. You see, by developer Notch's own admission, it's the same release date as a few other games and movies, with the most obvious one being The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This was an intentional decision, with Notch describing Skyrim as a nice reward if the team manages to release the game in time. Notch has also admitted that it's a bit tricky to really do a release for Minecraft, as we keep updating it all the time. The move to a full version, he says, will basically just be a label, while the game itself will be pretty similar to how it was the week before. So, basically, don't worry. The development team promises that Minecraft will still enjoy regular, frequent updates even once it has been finished. While Minecraft might have a release date, Sony's shiny new handheld console certainly doesn't. We're hearing rumours that more details on the next generation portable will be released at this year's E3 Expo in June, including a possible date and, wait for it, the handheld's real name. It sounds like Sony might need to work on its internal communications a bit first though. Jack Tretton, president of Sony Computer Entertainment America, has told journalists earlier this week that the handheld might only be launched in one territory by the end of the year, missing the 2011 worldwide launch window. It was explained that a number of Japanese factories have closed for repair following the recent disasters in that country, and that third-party suppliers in northern Japan are now unreliable. Tretton hinted that the new handheld would be launched in either the US, Japan or Europe, but probably only one region before the end of the year. Just as gamers were starting to get over that one, Satoshi Fukuoka, a spokesman from Sony Computer Entertainment, has explained that this was actually the plan all along, and that the recent earthquakes and tsunami have had no impact on the company's launch plans. Fukuoka points out that back when the NGP was first unveiled back in January, the company never said it would be launched in all 3 regions at once. In a statement on January 27th, Sony announced the new handheld would debut this year, followed by vague references to the holiday season. If we assumed that meant we'd all get our hands on it by Christmas, that was our assumption, but Sony wasn't about to set us straight until they had to. One thing that was set straight this week, though, was the Australian Classification Review Board explaining their recent decision on Mortal Kombat. We all know that the game was recently effectively banned in Australia, and that the appeal from Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment was denied in late March. Now, the review board has revealed the rationale behind their choice, announcing that the decision was neither simple nor unanimous. The documentation also provided some sneaky insights into the upcoming game too. A 4-member panel of the review board heard a presentation about the game, read some written submissions, watched samples of gameplay, both live and recorded, and played the game themselves. Whether or not the review board played through the 15 hours of gameplay promised in story mode is uncertain, and we also don't know whether they checked out each of the 25 individual characters. One thing we do know they paid close attention to, however, is the game's violence, and particularly those fatalities. As you progress through the game, characters are impaled on spikes, thrown into pools of acid, and even held against the carriages of a passing train. And that's just the start. There are 65 possible fatalities included in the game, and the board recognises that these are a challenge to achieve and won't happen in every fight. When they do happen though, they are pretty spectacular. Quan Chi brings his Mortal Kombat 4 fatality back in high def, which sees him grabbing his opponent's leg, tearing it off and beating them with it before crushing his opponent's head. According to the board, the beating with the detached leg is prolonged and repetitive, suggesting brutality. For the board's full report, head to GamePron.com, but the too long didn't read version, the game's still banned because Australia doesn't have a rating that's adult enough to accommodate the game's violent content. Mass Effect was also back in the news this week with a few interesting developments. To kick things off in style, BioWare would like to thank everybody for their efforts in making Dragon Age 2 one of the most successful games in the company's history. It took less than 2 weeks for the game to break the 1 million mark, noticeably quicker than the original game. To celebrate, BioWare have announced the sequel celebration. Anybody who has picked up a copy of Dragon Age 2 on any platform is eligible for a PC copy of Mass Effect 2 completely free. It's a simple matter of activating the Black Emporium Dragon Age content, logging in with your EA account, and visiting a website. Hey presto, Mass Effect 2 download code just for you. As if that wasn't good enough, the Mass Effect universe got bigger twice this week. Firstly, the 4th novel in the franchise was announced, with Mass Effect Deception due out by the end of the year. Written by game tie-in champion William C. Dietz, it continues the story of Gillian Grayson, who we first met in the second book, Ascension. Then, later in the week, BioWare, Funimation Entertainment and TO Entertainment signed a deal to create an anime feature film based on the Mass Effect franchise. Casey Hudson, executive producer on the games, will be reprising his role on the movie project, describing it as another amazing opportunity for us. Production has already started, and we can expect a digital and home video release in the Japanese summer of 2012. World of Warcraft is serious business, as 2 students at the University of Michigan discovered last week. They were interrupted at 8:45 a.m. on March 30th by FBI agents making a raid on their apartment. The Bureau was apparently trying to find any information about fraudulent sales or purchases of virtual currency in the online game, which saw officers seizing laptops, hard drives, gaming consoles, credit cards, a mobile phone, paperwork, and other computer equipment. Apparently, at least one person at the address is believed to be engaged in a gold selling operation using fraudulent bank accounts. But one of the men who lives in the apartment thinks they got it wrong somewhere. Neither he nor his roommate plays World of Warcraft, leading the students to believe the feds have got the wrong guys. A happier story about Azeroth comes from the US Feathermoon server, where Night Elf Druid Everbloom has just dinged level 85. Sure, she's not the first to do it, not by a long shot, but as far as we know, Everbloom is the first character to reach the highest level in the game completely through gathering. The character, described as a hippie, has recorded no kills, no quests, and still wears the level 1 gear provided to newbies. The gamer behind the account says that the exercise requires lots of patience, but that it gives a better understanding and appreciation of the in-game world. Personally, it sounds like a bit of a grind. Until next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is GamePron News.